Welcome to the 813 Discussion, a podcast committed to seeing the truth of God's Word in Philippians 4:8 through 13 set people free to thrive. From the offices of Hope Learning Academy in Southern California, and broadcasting from an RV somewhere in Arizona, here's your hosts, Pastor Paul Krueger and Samantha Opp.
Welcome to the 813 Discussion. I am Pastor Paul Krueger, and I am here with my co-host, Samantha Opp. Say hello, Sam.
Hello, Sam.
Oh, yeah, I knew that was coming. So funny. So
I know,
funny.
I'm hilarious.
So it's been a wild morning here at Hope Learning Academy, but I'm glad to be talking to all of you guys. And Sam and I were just talking about her wild morning and days. And that's going to be the topic of our podcast a little bit this morning. Well, it's this morning when we're recording this. It's been a long time since we've talked about parenting, and we have, if you go back into our archives, there are some episodes on parenting, but just sort of a refresher, because I know there's a lot of moms out there that have kids well, if they're moms, they have kids. See where my brain's at this morning? But especially moms of young ones. And it's very easy when we're caught up and immersed in parenting to forget to be consistent in a few areas. And so Sam and I are going to talk about that this morning, and hopefully it blesses you and helps you out. We're taking a break from going off about the war in Israel and then talking about the war on toxic or the toxic war on masculinity. That was last week's episode that's going to be dropping here any second because I haven't uploaded it yet because things have been busy. If you're catching this was recorded right before Thanksgiving week. And so I just want to, as a shout out, say how thankful I am for everything. I post these prayers every morning on the 813 Discussion. And feel free to look at those prayers and adopt them as your own. That's what they're for. As I read through the Bible, I pray each morning. And today, the picture of the Israelites are wandering in the wilderness and they've been attacked by the Amalekites. And this is a group of people that were building walls and were making bricks. This isn't a group of people that were ready for war. And so the special staff that was a token that God had given Moses, that was had been used during the plagues on Egypt before Pharaoh let the Israelites go, that had separated the Red Sea, that had made water gush from a rock, manna falls from heaven, all of these things. This rod that he's holding is sort of a testimony between him and God of God's power. And so he raises this rod above his head. And whenever it's above his head, the Israelites would win in their battles against the Amalekites. But when he would get tired and it would drop, the Amalekites would start winning. And so what happens is these strong men, these companions to Moses that were his accountability and his support, came and sat him on a rock, and then they raised his arms for him when he was tired. And so I'm very thankful for the people in my life that raise those arms up and keep them high, because the various ministries that we do with Hope Learning Academy, with our athletic programs, with the Extreme Tour, and all the things that happen at New Hope, with just being a little family that enjoys being a family in ministry for the Lord, all of those things, sometimes my arms get tired, but there's people that I'm very grateful for that hold my arms up, whether it's with financial assistance. I have people that are seeding into my ministries. I have somebody that just gave recently, and it's going to allow me to make sure that a young lady that can't pay for exposure camp for softball is able to pay for it and help her get a scholarship, things like that. Just seeding love and testimony and grace and provision into people's lives. I have people holding my arms up. You're a person that holds my arms up, Sam. And
Am
so
I?
you are. And Sarah Hayden, who used to be Sarah Morgan, is going to be coming in here at 11 a.m. here to Hope Learning Academy. She's an arm holder. She prays for me, and she was also crying with me when I talked to her about the girls getting their commits to Colorado Christian. They're going to be going to school on softball scholarships and all that good stuff. And she's crying. She remembers them waddling in here in their little dresses with their bob cuts and as little pudgy babies. You guys that are part of Hope Learning Academy, I'm grateful for you because you are my family, and you've grown up with me, and I've grown up with you, and it's been 20 years of ministry here um, this year, and this is our 21st year that we've started, and that's pretty special. That God's been intervening in the lives of at-risk youth and their families for 21 years, or almost 21 years. And I'm
That's so
grateful for my
great.
wife most of all. I'm grateful for Caden. I'm grateful for Faith and for Jordan. I'm grateful for the men in my life that through all of our struggles we grow through. I was texting with Deborah Mann this morning. Thankful for her. She's been in ministry with me for a lot of years. I spoke to Bard Monson this morning, who lives in Etheridge, Tennessee now. And just got ankle surgery, and I'm thankful for him and his wife Margaret, and just all the people that I can say my life is rich because of. Chris and Linnea Shea are instrumental in my life, and just a lot of people. My parents have been with me every step of the way in ministry, not because I'm their kid, but because God told them to be, and that's pretty cool. Another thing I'm thankful for, my wife is commuting to work in a 2023 Honda Accord. And that's a car that we couldn't afford, but that God has afforded for us. Had 800 miles on it when we drove it off the lot.
Dang.
And so we went from a Suburban that's not ours, that gets probably 12 to 15 miles to the gallon because the knock sensor's not working on it, to a car that's getting over 30 miles to the gallon. So you can see what the impact would be on our cash flow. So exciting stuff.
Yeah. Seriously.
So that I just took up a lot of time being thankful. What are you
Hey,
thankful
that's
for,
okay.
Sam, heading into
What?
Thanksgiving? What do you? Oh,
I'm
and I get to go
sorry.
to Georgia and spend Thanksgiving with Amy's family, my family, through Amy,
That is
my
so
bonus family.
fun.
So we're
That
excited
is
about
so
that. We
fun.
fly out on Saturday. What are you thankful for, Sam?
Let's see. What am I thankful for? You know what's so funny is Katie, a shout out to you, Katie, love you. Her and I and her cousin Alex, who is definitely becoming one of my really good friends. We're in a group chat
Cool.
every day. And
Sorry, Alex.
Katie just asked us this yesterday, like said, I don't remember exactly how she worded it. Oh, I think she worded it like, oh, send a list of things that make you happy or something like that. And so I like was just kind of like being silly. But I'm so thankful for obviously my kids, my healthy kids, my husband, the opportunities that God has given us in our life that we're building. I feel really grateful that we are as young as we are, but like as like not like I don't want to use the word like well off, but we are well off. You know what I mean? Like we're
by the world standards, we're all a bunch of rich people.
Yeah, and so I just have been like I think about that quite often because I don't think a lot of people our age are fine like we are and comfortable like we are. We can go to Costco and we have a budget, but we go to Costco and we're like, oh, okay, like it's $300 this time, it's okay. But our friends are like, oh, shoot, like we cannot spend $300 at Costco. So just like, and obviously we live in a motorhome, so
Yeah, but that was a choice too.
that was a choice. That was a choice. Like we still own our house. We just have renters in it, which I'm just like, it's like every time I get a wild idea, because the motorhome thing was my idea, it's like God just always puts up with me and is like, all right, you really want to do this? Okay, let me. And he
Code
does, like
Talk
he takes care
18
of us.
813 family. Code Talk for please pray for Trevor. Send help.
And no, because every time I get a wild idea, it's like.
So does he do the same thing that I do with Amy when she goes, hey, I just thought of something? I go, oh no. Or, hey, I have an idea. Oh, great. Oh, great.
No, he doesn't. He really doesn't. He's very good. And he's always like, okay, like with the RV, it was totally my idea. Well, it's something we kind of like talked about a little bit, but it was like full on my idea. And he was like, okay, like he just always sees the overall like picture of it, and how good it can be and all of that. Like he never thinks like, oh, but what if this happens, like what if this happens. Like he always is like the very like positive,
That's me. And Amy's
always
the,
sees all
but
of
what
it.
if this happens and what if that happens? But then she's always supportive. Like she always
Yeah.
comes back to, well, let's do whatever the Lord wants.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so well,
And
that's a
that's me
gift
too,
though.
because
And I'm joking when I say that
yeah.
to Amy, but because as she would tell you, I tease her all the time. It's it's
But
it's it's a love language that I give that I don't know if she receives, but I'm a teaser.
but anyways, yeah, so I'm just really thankful. I'm thankful for my best friend, Hunter. Shout out to you, Hunter. Love you.
I'm thankful for Hunter. I've loved getting to know her.
Yeah, her and I are literally the same. So,
You guys are like it's
hmm
creepy. It's a little creepy. I'm
it
just admitting it out loud. It's creepy.
we always call each other soul sisters, and
Hmm.
we'll probably get that like tattooed on our foreheads.
And you are. And Jamie, if you're listening, I miss having you around here. She doesn't
Oh
work in the
yeah.
building anymore, so
Mm-mm.
I won't go into
Yeah.
why. But I'm
So,
happy
anyways,
for
there's
her.
just so, and I do have another new little niece that's gonna be joining us next.
Congratulations, Emily.
Shoot, I think May 1st is
Very cool.
her due date. So yeah, she just found out it's a girl. Um, so I think we're all more excited about it than she is. She didn't want
And
to be pregnant again, but
I think they're a hair before you, but Taylor and Tommy,
uh-huh.
they just had a baby.
Oh,
So shout out to
nice.
them. The
Oh,
Wrinkles.
congrats to them.
Yep.
That's
Tommy Wrinkle and
awesome.
Taylor just had a baby and
Was it
a
a boy
beautiful
or a
little
girl?
baby. You know, thanks, Sam, but I don't remember. I have to go back
Oh.
on Facebook and see, but I did like it this morning. I was just happy for them. They looked
Oh,
very
yeah.
happy,
That's
excited.
awesome. That's so
Yep.
nice. But
So I take
anyways,
picture of Taylor
so
holding their new baby.
oh dang. It's
And then
actually been a
shout out
long time for them
hmm
to have another one.
and then shout out to Christina Howard.
Uh-huh.
I met her little baby for the first time. They
Oh,
came in.
did she
She's
have
doing
another
great.
baby?
She did.
Oh,
She
that's
did.
awesome.
So I'm very, very rich because of all of that. But you got me
Yeah.
on a rabbit trail because you talked about Emily, and
Sorry.
I'm thinking, man, how many
So
HLA kids are
sorry.
having babies now? It makes me feel old. But they're
It's
all having
crazy
babies at the right
actually.
time now. It's
Uh-huh.
good.
I know.
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
right? I know, huh? But
Not while they're at
anyways,
HLA.
so yeah, I have a lot to be thankful for. And I guess too, I should mainly, not mainly, but I want to say I am very thankful for the health that I do have in the midst of what I was dealing with,
Hmm.
because it could have been a lot worse. I didn't say this on the podcast yet, I don't think, but I did end up finding out that I'm in like the beginning stages, I guess, of gallbladder disease, which I don't really believe, but I guess I have to if that's what the doctor is telling me. So I don't know. I think I would just always be in denial about anything, but
Well, what's cool is that we discovered, because you and I talked about it last week, but it wasn't on the podcast,
mhm.
is, and so what?
Yeah, it's really not that big of a deal to
And
me.
that's a
It could
victory for
be,
you with your health
yeah,
anxiety.
yes. So,
It's
and
a big deal.
I'm very much so too in this season of like giving, like there's like Katie and Alex, like I talk to them every single day, and I'm constantly thinking of like all of the things that I want to like get for them and like send them like
Mm-hmm.
presents, but
Mm-hmm.
like I kind of have to like
You're a
reel it
gift
back
giver.
in a little bit. I
That
have to,
might have been why 4Ellie didn't have a better profit margin, because you're a giver.
I know.
But I
That's
love that
totally
about you.
true.
And so you have this season in your life with 4Ellie where you
Hmm.
were just giving to people.
I
And
know.
yeah, there was
I
money coming
really
in and
was.
out or whatever, But what a beautiful testimony that you have of, I used this in my niece's honor to give into people's lives. You bless my wife and you bless my daughters with it, and I mean, I
Yeah.
know you bless a lot of people because you pray over your customers.
I one of the things that I did with for Ellie, I think it was no, it had to have been like 2 Thanksgivings ago. It definitely wasn't last Thanksgiving. It was the one before that. But I only had like $500 that was supposed to be for like new product, but I wanted to give it away instead, so I did.
Mm.
And I think actually,
And Trevor's like, all right.
no, yeah.
Yeah.
He tried to say no,
Again,
but I said
folks, pray for
yes.
Trevor. Send help.
He tried to say no, but I was like, no, I am. So, and I think
Bless his heart.
actually it was Katie's neighbor or something. I asked everybody for like, I didn't pick anyone who sent me like why they deserve it, like why they need it. It was more so to like what to enter, you need to like send me why you want this, who you want this for. And I got a lot of like, oh, I need it because, I have student loans and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, well, that's not really like, that's not my problem. But I wanted it to more be like for a good reason. Not that
Like
student
need,
loans
like
aren't a
real
good
need.
reason, but like a real need. Yeah. And I ended up, Katie had messaged me this story of like her neighbor or something. And I don't remember what it was, but it was a good like I was like, yeah, no, she needs it for sure. And she ended up using it to make like um not like gift baskets, but like she ended up using it for people in need basically. And so it went to like a really good thing. She made care packages. There we go. It was a
Awesome.
bunch of like care packages for kids in an orphanage or something like, it was something like that. And I was like, yeah, that's what I wanted it to be for, so it was really cool. But anyways, yeah, I did do a lot of giving away. And then towards the end of Ferrelli too, I just started like anybody who bought one thing, I just threw in like 50 things and was like, here you go, take all this stuff.
Very cool.
So yeah, because of course I really wanted it to become like a big like I had like really like big dreams for it, turning into like a big company, how I wanted it to be, and like all the things that I wanted to do with it to like help like bigger, but God used it in a different way, which it did what it needed to do. And then it's over now. For now, I could start it up again later, but
sure.
who
Very
knows?
cool.
But yeah. So
we're thankful for a lot of stuff.
We
And
are.
those of
And
you that
I
are
feel like I
listening,
rabbit trailed, but
having gratitude, it unlocks so much. It can flip the script on the worst day. This morning we had a lot of challenges going on, or I did, with just helping people that I love and that are going through some hard times. And but I can flip the script to gratitude. Like, I get to be there for them. I get to witness what God's going to do to transform where they're at to where they're going to be. There's always a way to find gratitude. Health anxiety. I may have this thing coming up, but I'm breathing air into my lungs right now, and I'm okay in this moment. Sometimes it's zooming in, sometimes it's zooming out. We have so much to be thankful for. Sometimes when I'm begrudgingly doing administrative tasks around here, I'm like, yeah, but I have something to do administrative tasks for. And so there's always something to be thankful for. I drive an 04 Tahoe, and I paid $500 for it. It's got almost 300,000 miles on it. And it's our softball vehicle that, it can get dirt in it. We don't care. It's got the WeatherTech mats in and all that stuff. And I was driving it yesterday, and it's purring along the highway. I was just thankful. was like, you know, I'm driving this vehicle. It's free and clear, and it's purring along the freeway for now, until whatever is going to happen next. But today, I'm grateful for this vehicle. I'm grateful that my wife is driving something comfortable with good gas mileage to and from. God's love is extravagant. We were looking at like 20-year-old Nissan Altimas that were trashed, but that, hey, if it gets her to and from, we're cool with that. And what's she driving? A brand new Honda Accord instead. That's God's extravagant love, and He doesn't always provide that way, but He provides at the perfect time in the perfect way. I prayed the other day. We had, like I said, we have this little girl on our team, and she comes through from hard circumstances. I don't want to say any names or anything. But there's addiction in her family, and they don't have much. And we found ways to raise her dues every year, because it costs about $2,400 for a kid to do travel ball per year in our organization, and that's all expenses. We don't make any money off of that. Obviously, it's nonprofit, and we find a way to raise her $2,400 every year. And there's this camp in Las Vegas where a lot of big schools are going to be there, and she's a great athlete. I'm not going to say her position. I want people to be able to identify her. But she's the best on our team at her positions, her two positions. And once she's seen by the right school, she's going to get a scholarship. But you got to be at this camp to do it. And the camp costs $275. And so I just got a donation to our team foundation's Venmo just the other night for $500. So we're gonna be able to fund that little girl she's not a little girl, she's a senior in high school, but we're gonna be able to fund her getting into that camp. My daughters are committed to their school, and that was an orchestrated thing by God. Like I'll tell people the story sometime, but the way God set that up, it was a God thing. And I'm watching the Lord's going to get a hold of Caden's direction, and he's applying for stuff, and we're going to see what the Lord does with him, wanting to serve his country. And I'm so blessed. I get to watch all of this with a wife that loves me. So blessed. Anyways, a lot on Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody that's going to hear this. It's going to drop probably before Thanksgiving if I'm doing things right, so I can enjoy my Thanksgiving break. But happy Thanksgiving to everybody, to all of our listeners. Press the subscribe button, share it. We want to get these words that we share and the teaching that we share out to everybody. And with that, I guess we transition to our short topic of the day, because we just spent over 20 minutes being thankful. We just heard thunder. This is Southern California, folks, where it doesn't rain that often, and there's thunder outside.
Very honestly cool. I love that. I really wish it was over here.
And you get good thunder down there.
Yeah, we do, but we haven't had it in a while.
Somewhere out there in an RV. Yeah.
We had like not usually. I've only lived here for like going on 4 years now. But the past like 3 or 2 summers, were great with monsoons. We had
monsoons are so cool.
Thunderstorms all the time. It was like every other day. And it's nice because it does get so hot that it kind of breaks it up when we do get monsoons like that. This summer though, oh my God, there was none. There was like maybe like 5 nights where we got like a little bit of a storm that came in, but that's not good for me. I want it during the day. You know what I mean? So, I'm jealous.
I love it. People back east are like, dude, we get that every day. You get tired of it. I don't get tired of it. So if I was with my friend Bart, I'd sit on his front porch at his farm in Etheridge, Tennessee, and I'd watch the thunderstorms go by.
I really want to own a house in Tennessee one day.
Me too. I love Tennessee, or somewhere, wherever the Lord wants me.
We're looking currently my brother lives in Kentucky, and his girlfriend's like landlord of her duplex is selling it, and so Trevor and him are looking at it to get it. Anyways, because that's what we want to have properties. So,
What part of Kentucky?
It's a really good question.
Okay.
I don't know.
I used to have family in Kentucky, and it was beautiful. Northern Kentucky, near Louisville, in
Yeah,
Presswood.
where I think he said it's like on the border for Ohio, I think.
Okay, so northern.
Yes.
That's Northern Kentucky. That's in the
Okay.
Louisville side of Kentucky. Cool.
Okay. Might be over there.
Louisville's not nice, but I like everywhere around Louisville. So cool. So,
yeah. Anyways,
what are your issues going on with Snow? Just describe them, and then I'm going to describe shortly just the strategy that we coach parents to have with it doesn't matter if it's a strong-willed toddler or a strong-willed teenager. They're actually not that much difference. It's just a difference in sophistication sometimes. Because I have teenagers here that I think some toddlers are smart of. Not here today, but in the past. I know that might be mean, but it's the truth. So what's going on with Snow? What are you seeing?
So,
And
first
Snow's
off,
going to watch this someday. That'll be fun.
well, okay, first off, I just want, because I don't want to just go off on, everything that I'm like frustrated with and that, she's bad, because she's not bad at all. She's 4 years old.
She's a beautiful, wonderful
and
child of God.
she's a beautiful, wonderful child of God. And she's so sweet. Like, she really is the sweetest girl. She wants to help with everything. She's the best big sister. She is never mean to the baby. She loves her sister and just wants to take care of her, has never shown a sign of jealousy whatsoever. With that being said, however, hold on.
Bless you. Good job on that mute button. That was quick. That was good thinking, multitasking.
I had to be quick on that. However, she is extremely strong-willed and she does not listen or follow directions for anything. She is constantly asking the same thing over and over and over again. And she will just straight up tell me no. She'll be like, no. For example, I'll be like, okay, Snow, it's time. I need you to help me clean this up. Instantly, she'll say, no, I'm busy right now. Sorry, I can't. No. Like, and I'm just like, oh my God, I want to hit you. I want to hit you. I don't. Okay, just putting that out there. There's no abuse going on.
Yeah, and
over here.
even
we don't even spank her.
Yeah, I was going to say that you guys don't even practice corporal punishment. And I'm going to just put it out there to people. I am not against corporal punishment. My wife and I practiced appropriate spanking in our home when our kids were young, and they grew out of needing it. But it's, oh my goodness, did you hear that on the microphone?
No, I didn't.
Like,
my headphones
that thunder
are
was
bad.
close. We had lightning
Was
close
it?
is what that means. Oh yeah, it was close. That was awesome. Kids are all rushing to the back patio here at school. So we believe in corporal punishment, but it's not necessary. There's a strategy that involves corporal punishment and a strategy that doesn't. So it's really what your values are and what you believe you should be doing by your children. And there's some families that strongly believe that corporal punishment's appropriate, and there's some that believe it's not. So I'm not using this podcast this morning to advocate for one or the other. Just putting it out there. Go ahead.
I don't know. I was just.
Snow's been defiant. That's the issue. That's the issue we're dealing with. She's been defiant.
She's being super defiant. She's just, she wants what she wants. She wants to do what she wants. She'll be like, I'm gonna go check. My mom has some chickens, and so she'll be like, I'm gonna go check for eggs, and I'll be like, no, not right now, and she'll be like, yes, I am, and then go.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, stop it.
Yeah. And I'm gonna address Snow right now because she's gonna listen to this later when she's older, and I want you to understand, Snow, what a gift it is that your mom cares about being a good mom so much. And that she cares about training you up in a way that helps you grow into a healthy adult so much. And so just know how loved you are by me as a pastor, as your mom and dad. They love you to the end of the earth and back. And so that's what this discussion is about, is how to love you at this age. And you can learn from it too.
Well,
How
okay,
we're
and
going to love Snow through this moment in her life for her training. And you're wanting to be a great mom.
well, and let me throw something in there too that I think is a lot of my downfall when it comes to parenting, because I understand that whole saying, like, you're not their friend, you're their parent. Okay, I totally understand that. But I think my biggest downfall when it comes to parenting is the fact that growing up, I did not like my parents at all. I wasn't close to them. I didn't want to talk to them about anything. I didn't want to be around them. You know, like you see like girls with their dad that, like are close and like hug and, I didn't like, I wasn't like that at all. I wasn't one that was like wanted to be close to her parents at all. I wanted to be away from my parents. And as a child, I still don't understand what it is that made me like that. Um anyway, so with that being said, now as a parent, I think about how I was with my parents growing up as a child, and I don't want Snow or True to be like that with me. So I think, not that I don't discipline her, like she does get disciplined, just probably not the way that I should. And I do know that a lot of times I kind of just like let stuff go because I just don't like, I'm tired with the baby too. So I just don't feel like putting in the effort. I'll just be like, fine, okay, go do the chickens, whatever. Because then I think too, is it really that big of a deal? And so I
Right.
have a lot of like
Well,
conflicting
it's not a
thoughts that go
big deal,
on.
but the defiance is a big deal.
The defiance is a big deal, and I know that, but I a lot of times think, okay, am I like the chickens? Wait, why am I saying no? Like, why can't she just go check the chickens? Like, so a lot of, and then a lot of times too, I something that I do a lot is I am constantly telling her to stop it. Like, Snow, stop jumping on the bed. Stop it. Stop it. Stop, Snow. Stop doing that. Sit down. Settle down. Like, because she is also very like hyper, probably has ADHD. I don't know. But she's so
Maybe.
hyper, and it's probably just her age. But like, she wakes up bouncing off the walls. You know what I mean? And so I wake up
Kids are
tired.
supposed to have energy.
And I totally understand that. I don't think I'll
And I'm
ever
not
understand.
rebutting you. I'm just talking with you. Okay.
Yeah, well, and it's like, yeah, I know this. Like she is her age right now, you know. But definitely back to like me growing up, like I know that that's my downfall because I so bad, not that I think like, oh, it's fine. I want to be her friend, not her parent. I don't think that at all. But I think because I don't really understand why I, from the time I could remember, felt the way I did towards my parents, and like not close with them and just being like, don't hug me, like I just leave me alone, like whatever. I don't want her to be like that towards me. So I'm like having a hard time parenting her because I don't want her to end up like that. And I don't understand even why I did. So I can't like go like, okay, well, I grew up feeling like that because of XYZ. So if I just don't do XYZ, then she won't end up like that. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Like,
do.
okay.
And
So
let's
anyways,
address
I
it.
think that's okay. Yeah, let's
So
do
first
that.
of all, I do agree that parents should be parents and not friends because your kids
Mhm.
aren't mature enough to be your friends.
Right.
But that doesn't mean there's not friendship in parenting that you're training your child to have.
Mhm.
It's okay to have both as long as both are appropriate. And
Right.
so, number one, if you need coaching in these areas, it's what I do. So
Mhm.
reach out to me, and I go on a donation basis. Uh, I don't charge by the hour or anything. Maybe I should. But if you need help in these areas, let me coach you. I'm a senior facilitator for, or a parent project senior facilitator, certified, trained, all that. Plus, you've got the benefit of 20 plus years of experience training parents to intervene in the lives of at-risk youth. So take advantage of that. Seek me out. And yeah, do we need to pay bills around here? Yeah, but we're not here to get rich. It's just obvious. So with all that said, being your child's friend. So me and my son, who are sitting right over there, which I don't have permission to put him on the podcast, but I'm going to anyways. He is very fast becoming my adult friend. And that's a gift. To me, that's a gift. It may not be as much of a gift to him, but it's a gift to me. Okay. And that gifting has come from having appropriate parenting boundaries and roles, all growing up. There's an intimacy that I have with my children that nobody else shares with me. Nobody. And that is more special than friendship. And that comes from me operating under an economic and structure that I'm going to share with all of you right now. Okay. Just very skeleton version of a parenting strategy that everybody, in my opinion, should employ. Whenever I am troubleshooting for a parent of a strong-willed teenager where things have sort of broken down, it almost always revolves around communication, but it also revolves around this structure that I'm going to lay out right now that is not in place. It's broken in some area or needing to be mended or needing to be increased in this area. Maybe this area needs to be increased and this area needs to be decreased or whatever it is. But here's what it starts. Number one, or where it starts. You cannot control your child. If you believe you can control your child, you've already lost, because you're going to be in a power struggle with your child for the rest of their childhood. And that power struggle is actually going to do damage between you and your child. It's going to do damage, or it's going to lessen the training, or it's going to lessen the effectiveness of your parenting. It's going to lessen the affection, all of those things that kids need from us as parents. So number one, there's no power struggle. You are the chief influencer of their lives. And when you take that controlling hat off and put the influential hat on, and you begin to influence your children instead of controlling your children, is when everything sort of breaks open and everything can break loose, and you can start to do different things as a strategy with your children. So that influence relies first and foremost on demonstrated love and affection every day. So if you were going to layer your approach to influencing your child, here's where you start. If you want your child to comply and not be defiant, the first thing that has to be present is demonstrated love and affection as much as possible. Sincere, devoted love and affection demonstrated. The hugs, the kisses, the I love yous, all of those things. It gets harder as you know your kids get older, they become teenagers. Do it anyways. Find ways to show them affection. Do it anyways. And that should always be the number one ingredient in the recipe that is a great parenting plan. Demonstrated love and affection every day. The next step to influence our children is positive consequences. Hey, Mom, can I go outside and hang out with my friend? You may, as soon as you clean your room. Take as much time as you need. That's the example of a demonstrated or a positive consequence. Try to say yes more than you say no, but yes can come with conditions. Okay. You may, as soon as all your dishes are done. You may, as soon as your homework is completed. Take all the time that you need. I always end with that part.
So do you think that Snow is too young to do something like that?
No.
Okay.
Snow, I want to say yes to you. Can you do something to help mommy? And then I'll be glad to let you go check for the eggs. Find a way to say yes, a way that helps you. It teaches her to be compliant in order to get what she wants. It starts teaching that economic. And yeah, you're just modifying it for her age instead.
Okay.
Yes, Sam and your group of friends, you may go to Tennessee with Pastor Paul as soon as you guys are committed to being helpful and not being pains in my butt the whole time you were there. You're pains in my butt for a brief time that you were there, But there was carrots that were even unspoken that came with that you guys were going to be part of something special. And that,
Mhm.
yeah, you could do that as soon as I saw progress in your life here at home. And I did. And
Mhm.
so it was a wonderful experience. It's a memory that I'll share with you and the others that went for the rest of my life. That's special,
Mhm.
very
I know.
special. So, yes, you're just modifying it for Snow's age, and yeah,
Okay.
at her age, it does need to be modified. So we have the demonstrated love and affection. That's the foundation that we're building on, and then on top of that
Mhm.
foundation, we've built positive consequences as an influential tool. And then again, there's a lot of stuff in between here that I can coach people on personally. But the next step, the next in that pyramid of being an influential parent, the next thing is the negative consequence. We teach a
Mhm.
concept called T-Spot here. It is a proprietary thing taught by the Parent Project, which is a curriculum.
Mhm.
And it stands for take everything away for a short period of time. And
Mhm.
so it builds on the concept of timeout and grounding. It sort of combines them into one.
Mhm.
And the idea is that you withhold everything that your child cares about for as short a period of time as necessary to get what you want. So, and it does need to be age appropriate. For Snow, I wouldn't do very long at all. You tell Snow you're grounded from the iPad for a month. She's not even going to know what that means.
Yeah.
Okay. But if she knows that she's being withheld from that and the other things that she cares about because she's in timeout for 4 minutes to think about what she did,
Mhm.
that's going to be much more influential. And then
Right.
when she's throwing herself on the ground, when she's in the throes of dying in front of you or play acting like she is and screaming or
Mhm.
whatever or doing it anyways, it's working. You know that
Mhm.
what you've taken is effective. And you may have to continuously put her back in timeout and start the timer over, 20 or 30 times.
Mhm.
But that kind of consistency, which is a big deal, and
Mhm.
and doing it every time, that kind of consistency is going to eventually get her to a place where she's going to be more compliant. It's going to influence her to
Mhm.
be. So some rules that go with this style of timeout, and this works for teenagers too. It's just a different list and it's a different um, amount of time. Number one, you never take it away with a teenager for longer than 7 days. And seven
Mhm.
days better be like, man, World War III, they did something really bad. Okay. But it's appropriate to take it away as short a period of time and then to
Mhm.
restore it. And the restoration is just as important as the taking it away. So with Snow, here's how this would look. Snow, I put you in timeout for 4 minutes because you told mommy no. You don't tell mommy no. If I tell you to do something, you do what I said. And
Mhm.
every time you're defiant, and I'd use the word with her, defiant, even though she may not know
Defiant.
what it means, she's going to
Mhm.
figure out what it means.
Yeah.
Okay. And she's going to grow up knowing what it means.
Yeah.
Every time you say no to mommy or you're defiant to mommy, you're going to go to timeout every time.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
then you have to actually follow through and be consistent. And then if she breaks the timeout, you don't add to her time, you start it over. And that's the economic you use with her. Snow, remember I set a timer for 4 minutes? You didn't make it to 4 minutes, you left. Okay. So now you're in time out and I have to start the timer over and start that timer over. You're
Mhm.
teaching her a lot of things with that. And you may have to do that 30 times,
Mhm.
okay, in one day. But she's learning that she had 30 opportunities to get out of timeout. And it's starting to place the responsibility, as much as her sophistication will allow for it, back on her shoulders. Her
Mhm.
behavior is dictating whether she gets out of timeout or
Mhm.
timeout or not.
Okay.
And she grows up learning to determine whether it's worth it to be defiant or not, because you're going to catch her every time and there's going to be a timeout. And then the
Okay.
restoration process is just as important.
Mhm.
Snow, you were in timeout because you did such and such. And every time you do that, you will be in timeout. Now, what do you say to mommy? Do not allow her to say, I'm sorry. Do not allow, don't allow her to say anything other than, will you forgive me for, and state it. Because
Mhm.
you're teaching her another powerful thing here. Because then you don't say it's okay or anything like that. You say, I forgive you.
Mhm. Okay.
And you teach her about forgiveness. And then you're teaching her
Mhm.
about restoration. And then I would grab her little face in mine and say, I love you. And because you've been forgiven and because you had your consequence, you're restored. It's like it didn't ever happen. So we're going to wad it up and we're going to throw it over our shoulders. It's gone. And you're teaching her all about the economic of not only forgiveness, but reconciliation.
Okay.
And so it's a big deal. So I just laid it
Yeah.
all out. Another positive consequence that I forgot in there that's really important after demonstrated love and affection that should be in our foundation is positive strokes. Every time she does something good, you catch her doing it good and you let her know. And
Okay.
people will say, well, why would I compliment them doing something they're supposed to do? Because you want them to do it again.
Right.
And so, and our kids want that. And so they soak it up. So add that to it too.
That
So I laid it
part
all
I
out. What
do.
questions do you have?
Oh man, I don't.
So let me ask
I
you,
don't really have
as
any
you
questions
picture
right
this
now.
structure and applying it to Snow, what challenges do you think you'll have applying this to the situations you're going through with Snow? And she's 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my thing that I have a problem with now is just getting frustrated and then just being like, ugh, whatever. Like
Getting
I
worn
just like
down as a parent.
getting worn down, yeah. And so just I guess how can I push through that when I'm getting to that point? Because
You're not going to like the answer.
I get overwhelmed a lot because, the baby's so clingy and, she's crying and I need to hold her 24/7, it seems like. And
Yeah.
so then I'm, dealing with Snow being defiant. And so then I just think, oh my God, never mind.
Mm-hmm.
And
don't beat yourself up for that, but try to be as consistent as possible is what I would say. There's no perfect parent out there. So if you're,
yeah.
So there's going to be swings and misses here. There's going to be, but own them in front of your child. Hey, I should have put you in timeout for that and I didn't. So I'm sorry to you because I want to be a good parent. And that means I need to teach you not to be defiant. That's a training tool too. Be open about, even to a 4-year-old. Hey, mommy is really tired right now and I should have disciplined you for that and I didn't. It's okay to speak those things out loud to her sophistication. And she's learned, and because it's okay for her to know the whole parenting plan. It's okay for her to understand it, because then she's going to learn to exploit it in a way that's positive. She's going to learn to operate within it, and she'll think she's getting away with something. Nope, she's not. She's just working your parenting plan. But it's important, let's say this too, to practice really good self-care. Going back to teenagers, I'll have parents that are just exhausted and then their kid runs away. They're like, what do I do? Like, I'm exhausted. I'm like, well, maybe go to Starbucks, go get a manicure. They ran away. You've turned them into the sheriff's department. They have your cell phone number. Is there anything you can do right now? You can't go look for them. What are you going to do? Force them into your car? You can't make a kid come home. The sheriff's department can bring them home, let them out of the car, and they can turn around and walk off again. And the sheriff's department has to go get them again. And the sheriff's department usually will end up 5150-ing them so they don't have to deal with it the rest of the night. But man, when your kid's gone, practice self-care. So coming back to a toddler, hold on. Oh, I got a cramp. My leg's under my desk and it just locked up.
Ugh.
Getting old sucks. So so taking this back to Snow, you have to find the moments in your day and in your evening when you can practice some self-care and you can, in a healthy manner, rest. Okay. And take stock, maybe journal, whatever it is about your parenting journey, and take stock, reevaluate, be self-reflective, regroup, and start again. But that's not going to take away the times that you feel absolutely overwhelmed and like you can't take anymore. I remember getting the calls from my wife when, because remember, Caden was 22 months when the twins came home. And I felt super guilty coming back to work. I'm like, I'm going to Hope Learning Academy. We're at the East Gate at the time. And I had a zoo there. And I was like, I'm going to go rest at Hope Learning Academy. And and it felt like rest. And I felt guilty leaving her there. And her grandma Pat and her mom and my parents were wonderful about standing in the gap to be there for her. But that doesn't mean, especially as a year went by, and now Caden's 3 years old, and the girls are 22 months less, and then Caden's 4, so you have 4-year-olds and you have 2-year-olds in the house. And there's times that Amy called me and she's like, I'm about to freak out, and she did an incredible job anyways. But you're still going to have those moments. And that's part of the parenting journey is Trevor being there for you and you being there for him, you guys being a team, giving each other timeouts. Some of the most wonderful things I could have done for Amy is come home and say, hey, leave. That happened a couple of times, probably not as much as it needed to. But and then making sure that you and Trevor are getting time to each other. At all costs, go find the babysitter, do what you need to do to have that time away. But man,
that's something that we really lack in.
Yeah, that's got to be a priority. And
because we just have a hard time like leaving the kids with someone.
Well, you got to find somebody.
And like, yeah, it's just that's a whole other thing. That's
we can dive into that maybe off the air.
Yeah.
But you have to make sure. Oh, you're fine. I get to say hi to Blaine and to Bo and to Sarah, Hayden. Come here, Sarah. I just threw my phone on you. Yeah, you just threw your phone on so she can wave real quick. Hi. Come here, Blaine. This is Blaine. Blaine's Hi. My buddy. She's my big first grader.
So
cute. Yeah, come here, Bo. Bo's my buddy too. Where'd he go? Come here, Bo.
He's like, I'm out of here. Hi.
Yeah, I get to visit with them once a week.
Love it.
And so it's pretty cool. I'll be right with you guys. Glad to see you. Don't throw your phone anymore, Sarah. Sarah comes in here and starts throwing stuff right off the bat. Nothing's changed. So you guys have to take those times. And actually with Sarah being here, I've had discussions with her about just how intense it gets. She's running her little farm, and then she has the kids, and she's got life, and it gets so big sometimes that you feel like you're going to pop. And so sometimes you have to set that moment like, okay, at such and such time, I'm going to relax, and I'm going to take some time for myself. And you have to set that goal and almost calendar it. And then you have to be dedicated to getting to that moment. Hey, they're going to sleep. And when they do, I'm going to sit with my tea outside the RV and I'm going to stare at the sky. And I can hardly wait for that. I'm going to enjoy that. I'm going to sit there with tea with Trevor or whatever it's going to be. You have to set that moment and you have to aim for it. And yeah, it's a suck it up buttercup type of resilience that you're practicing that moms have a special ability for. And us dads aren't as good as it sometimes, it seems like, but we work at it and we work hard together to get to that point. And you will find that the more you practice that structure that I talked about, and Sam, I'm here for you. I'll help you tweak it as much as necessary. The more you practice that, the better and controllable things are going to get at home. And that doesn't mean there's not going to be the out of control moments still, but they're going to become more manageable and you're going to have more control because you're being a good influencer. Control comes from influence. Influence doesn't come from control. And that's something parents have to remember. Yeah. So that's all I got on that topic,
Great.
Nutshelling it.
Well, I can't wait to start trying to actually put it into practice.
And I think our listeners can look forward to hearing your reports on how some of that's going, because it's going to go good and it's going to go bad. But I think that's powerful to put out here. So we'll get some updates going on some of our future episodes and parents can see how it's working.
Definitely.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
So we're at like 53, 54 minutes of podcast time. So I think it's going to be time to call it.
Time to wrap it up.
Time to wrap it up. And we're recording this one. I haven't even posted the last one. So you guys are going to get some rapid fire. Yeah, we'll tell people like, hey, we even released 2 at once, even though there was a big delay.
Dang.
No, I'll delay a little bit. I'll try to get the other one up today, and then I'll release the other one in a couple of days. It'll look
Perfect.
impressive to people.
It'll look super
It's
impressive.
not.
They'll be like, dang.
They're on it this week.
They are on it.
Yeah, right. So let's pray. Lord
Okay.
God, I pray for all the moms out there and how tired they get sometimes, and just how amazing it is, moms and dads out there that are standing in the gap for their children to just try to be good parents. And I pray that you give me the wisdom to love them well and to be a good parent still as my kids are heading for college land, all three of them. And as Amy and I prepare to be a couple again, without kids in the house, which is weird. Lord, we just pray, give us all the wisdom that we need to love our kids well, to love the other families going through what we've gone through well, and be able to stand in the gap for each other. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. So until next time at the 813 discussion, we look forward to talking at you again and talking with you again. Feel free to reach out to us if you need anything. We're here for you. Down here in the show notes, you've got all of our contact information. And that's that. That's a wrap. So God bless you guys, and we will see you next time.
Thank you for joining us today. Please make sure to press the like button and subscribe to the 813 discussion on your favorite podcast platform, and be sure to share us with your friends as well. If you are interested in supporting the production of the podcast, email Pastor Paul or Sam by checking the show notes. Until next time, be blessed and go thrive.